No matter how old you are, she seems to be the one person in the world who can instantly make you feel like a child again. Of course, talking about your mother.
All right, don't look at me. You know, no one loves you more. You can drive you crazy faster. Our Rhonda Walker is here with some great advice to help manage one of our most complex relationships, mother and daughter.
Experts say no matter how old we get, we still look to our mothers for approval. And perhaps that's why even the slightest comment from our moms can turn us into a pouty teenager in no time. So what are moms and daughters to do about it? A local author says she has the answer. Julie Halpert of Ann Arbor is a mother of 3 with a successful career as a journalist and author. Her latest project hits close to home.
Once I had children of my own, that's the time when you sort of compare yourself to your own mother. And I really felt like my life was just full of chaos.
Like so many moms, Halpert's life is a juggling act.
The house seemed like it was in disarray. My kids seemed like they were always running from one thing to the next, and I was running along with them.
Halpert says those differences can create conflict between modern moms and their own mothers.
We have choices that are so different from our mothers. We can live with someone before we get married. We can choose to have a high-powered career. We can, buy cell phones for our elementary school kids. And so I think that on the one hand, we feel very different from our mothers, but fundamentally, every daughter wants her mother's love and respect.
Halpert and her co-author interviewed 100 mothers and daughters for their new book, Making Up with Mom: Why Mothers and Daughters Disagree About Kids, Careers, and Casseroles, and what to do about it. She says it's often the little things that drive us crazy.
My mother will walk in and she has big issues with my kids' hair. She comes in with ponytail holders for my 10-year-old. It's basically saying, your mom doesn't take the time to put your hair in a ponytail. It makes me feel like I'm 10 years old again. So I feel like no matter how successful I am in every other area, something like that can really take me down a peg or two.
Halpert says learning to see each other as peers is key to improving the mother-daughter relationship.
We have something called Susan is no longer Susie and Mom is no longer Mommy. In other words, you have to sort of move beyond this relationship where you have a domineering parent and sort of a petulant, domineering child.
Halpert also recommends finding out who your mother was before she became your mom.
What were her passions and interests? Did she want a job when she was young? Who was her first love? What went through her mind when she found out she was pregnant with you? All these kind of things, you'll be amazed. You'll really get to know her as a person.
Finally, don't forget to think before you speak.
Often our messages are delivered at the spur of the moment, in anger, and we find that if you just really sit down and speak to your mother or your daughter in a calm way, that's really important.
So how did Halpert's own mother react to the book?
My mother really is like lots of mothers. She's well-intentioned. She's doing what she thinks best for me. She really wants to make my life as good as it can be. I think she's very pleased with how it's turned out.
The book? Well, it's full of examples and advice for real-life mothers and daughters. It's available at Borders and Barnes & Noble, and you can also buy it online. And you can find the link on the health page of our website at clickondetroit.com. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Rhonda. Now, the author says writing the book has also changed how she approaches her relationship with her own daughters. Coming up tomorrow on Local 4 News Morning around 6:15, Halpert shares the one thing she vows to do differently with her children.
Last night at 11, I told you about a new book by Ann Arbor author Julie Halpert, and it tackles the conflicts that mothers and daughters face. We know moms mean well, but sometimes we just have those little head-butting situations. So from the big issues to the little ones that drive us crazy, Halpert says that writing the book has changed how she approaches her own relationships with her own children.
A lot of the women we interviewed in the book really felt like they were trying to mold their daughter in their own image and felt that whatever made them happy would make their daughter happy and tried to impart that on them. And I really believe that you need to let your daughter find their own way and let them do what makes them happy, even though it may not be what you would have chosen. And so I'm really vowing, I have a little time left, I'm vowing it when she's an adult to definitely do that with her.
Pretty helpful book. It's called Making Up with Mom: Why Mothers and Daughters Disagree About Kids, Careers, and Casseroles, but more importantly, what to do about it. The book's available at Borders, also Barnes & Noble, and you can also buy the book online, and you can find a link on our health page at clickondetroit.com.